This is a live Channels television event.
Hyprep, a roundtable meeting with high-level stakeholders taking place here at the Royal Banquet Hall of the Hotel Presidential. May I introduce very respected guests and dignitaries who are here. We have the Honorable Minister of State for Environment, here ably represented by his senior technical advisor, Dr. Ishaku Mohammed.
Thank you.
And we have the technical lead for Ogoni Restoration Projects, SPDC, in person of Professor Philip D. Shekolo. You're welcome, sir. And then we have Sir Cyrus Nkangu, JP. He is the zonal head of Nostra in Port Harcourt. We have the president of Kagote and member board of trustee, Hyprep, Dr. Peter Mede. We have the project coordinator of the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, Dr. Marvin Dekil. Thank you, sir. And we have the country rep of UNITA, here represented by Ihoma Njemanze. You're welcome. And then we have a host of other people. We have civil society groups here. We have Celestine Akpobari. He's representing Ogoni Solidarity Forum. We have Comrade Kadilo Kabari, Ogoni Generation Next Project. We have Young Kigbara, civil society member. We have Ntogo Barineka, Chidi Ohoji, ISF. We will be introducing more as time permits us, but let's quickly take off now by calling to give the opening remarks the Honorable Minister of State for Environment, Ibrahim Jubreen, here represented by his senior technical advisor, Dr. Ishaku Mohammed.
I would have preferred to say good morning, but I am compelled by circumstances to say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am privileged to represent the Honorable Minister of State for Environment, Ibrahim Usman Jibril, who would have loved to be here, but other state matters actually compelled him to remain in Abuja while he asked me to ensure that he is ably represented. More so, this first in the series of what would become a feature of Ogoni cleanup came as a result of the meeting held on the 23rd of December at the Aso Villa, chaired by the Vice President on the Niger Delta issues. At that particular meeting, he directed that because people have been conveying that the entire Ogoni cleanup, based on interpretation, is either just a political gimmick, or it is too slow, or it has not taken off at the speed of light. He directed that there should be regular roundtables that will ensure that all activities of Hyprep is shared with stakeholders with the view of getting quality input that will refine the processes to ensure a lasting success. So the anchor has ably introduced everybody, which means the protocols all have been observed, and I humbly stand on such existing protocol, and I will read what my boss has asked me to read on his behalf. One is to assure entire stakeholders that the federal government's commitment on the Ogoni cleanup is unwavering. But the pace at which things have moved has been necessitated by the need to ensure that there is a solid foundation laid for the actual cleanup and restoration of livelihoods. In this regard, may I add that he has always said that we are not in a hurry to fail. More so, the Ogoni cleanup template will serve as a template that will be adopted for the cleanup of other areas of the Niger Delta. So it is important that thorough, detailed planning and setting up of institutional structures that will stand the test of time is ensured. Within that first year, Mr. President has given solid and untainted political support for this particular process. Number one is that he has taken the Ogoni cleanup as a personal project. Not only that, it's one of the planks of the campaign that he has promised the Niger Delta people. And this roundtable will be maintained throughout the lifespan of this project to ensure that whatever action, activity, or strategy deployed in the implementation of the UNEP report is enriched by input from all key stakeholders. We therefore continue to count on your continued support, patience, with the assurance that activities will be stepped up in the new year, having got all the necessary structures in place. Meanwhile, there have been key activities since the setting up of the project coordinating office as gazetted, and the appointment of the project coordinator, which will be presented to the entire House with the hope that this will stimulate a very robust discussion that will enrich the mediation and restoration process. Please note that the cleanup itself constitutes just about 20% of the activities that should be achieved for the Ogoni people. If you clean up and you don't restore livelihood, you don't get people empowered to be productive, to lead their lives, you don't ensure that their health are protected because the water sources have not been provided, then you cannot count on that, on the cleanup to have been a success. That's why it is called remediation and restoration. There's a very robust livelihood component here that we're partnering with UNITA to ensure that that is deployed to add value to the lives of the people. What is very painful with regards to the Ogoni issue is that not only that land is degraded, people that are willing to work and be productive have been prevented from doing so because of the damaged environment. Having said this, I urge all to ensure that this roundtable is enriched with frank conversations and suggestions as to how this entire project will end up with an overwhelming success. Be frank, be correct, be courageous, and be consistent. Anytime, my boss used to tell me that anytime a leader always gets to hear what they want to hear, that is the foundation of failure. You should be able to hear what you want to hear and what you don't want to hear, so long as they are anchored on facts and truth. And I believe that within this room, we have high-level people that are committed to ensuring the success of this project. And if it succeeds, then it will be the beacon of hope for our dear country. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for the Honorable Minister of State for Environment for that very incisive speech. Very distinguished personalities. While the Honorable Minister was making his speech, the President of the Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People and also a member of the Governing Council of Hyprep walked in, Mr. Legbosi Piagbara. We have very seasoned environmentalists that will be involved in today's discussion. Godfrey Mate. We also have human rights crusaders in the house, Godpa Igwe. Quickly, at this point, we want to invite the project coordinator of Hyprep, Dr. Marvin Dekil, to give project report on the status of the project. Thank you, sir.
Backdrop, and there will be backdrop.